everyone. So we're going to go ahead and dive on in to finishing the notes here. We're going to write the recursive rule for 3b and 5b from up above. We're stealing the same examples. So from up above, we had determined that our common difference was -4, for example 3b. So the recursive rule has two parts. The first part tells me where am I starting. So you're just going to take whatever the first term is, and we're going to write a sub 1 equals 9. The next part to this rule says to get this term, what I have to do is I have to take the previous term and do what to it. And so since our common difference here is -4, we're going to take our previous term and subtract 4. These together make our recursive rule. So for 5b, the question is where do I start? And I'm starting at 2. And how do I get from one term to the next term? We would take the previous term and we would add 0.25 for that one. That was our common difference. So that's how we write recursive rules. So we're going to go ahead and apply this now for this pyramid that we see. So looking at this, we have, we want to write a recursive formula. So right off the bat, you can kind of start us off our first term, and to get to the next term, we're going to take the previous term and do something to it. So we just need to figure out what goes in those blanks. So looking at this, each step is going to be 26 centimeters tall, which means my very first step here, it starts out at a height of 26 centimeters. And then as we increase here, each step is going to be taking and adding 26 centimeters more to the previous step. So our first step is 26, and to get to the next one, we would go ahead and add 26 to that. So we're going to use our recursive rule. So to find the height of the third step. So that's saying our third term. So our first term is 26. This is saying to get to my next one, I take the previous one and add 26. So I'm going to have 52, and then I'm going to add 26 again to get 78. So this is going to be 78 centimeters tall for the third step. So we're going to go ahead and do a couple more practice problems here. We're given this sequence. We want to find a sub 4. This is saying, tell me the fourth term. So what is the value of the fourth term? So 1, 2, 3, 4. My fourth term was 11. The common difference is how do I get from one to the next? So I can see my common difference here is going to be adding 3 each time. So I can apply that to find the next term in the sequence. Oops, I said plus 20 because that's what I'm going to get. If I add 3 to 17, my next term should be 20. And the recursive rule requires two things, the first term and how do I get to the next term. So the first term was 2, that's just whatever I'm starting with. And to get to the next term, I take the previous term and I add 3 because that's my common difference. Okay, so that will always match up with your common difference. If I didn't say that already, I should have. So it's the previous term plus the difference. And our last example here, we want to actually find the first 5 terms of the sequence. Now, with this, you can tell it's the recursive rule because it has this n minus 1. It's kind of nice because it's already telling us where we're starting. So we know the first term already. And so to get to the next term, I have to take and I have to do this to it. I have to subtract 7. So 2 minus 7 is -5. The -5 minus 7 is -12. -12 minus 7 is -19. And minus 7 one more time is -26. These would be the first 5 terms of the sequence. So thank you very much for listening. I hope this helped, and let me know if you have any questions.